Dave Ketchum, and I'm doing the scorebook training for Westview Lacrosse. Here's a typical scorebook that we use for training or for scoring lacrosse, and it'll have two sections. This will all be filled out by the coach, and it'll look somewhat similar to this one that's already been filled out. You have the away team here, the home team on the bottom, and keeps track of all our scores along this top edge. All the individual scoring will be done in these columns. Shots, goals, assists, and ground balls are the main categories we will be tracking. Also, you'll track each player as they come in for a quarter to make sure they played in that quarter or they haven't played. Just give them a little check mark if they played in the first quarter.
Do they have an amount of quarters that they have to play? Is it?
They don't in high school, but in middle school we like to get everyone in at least once a quarter.
Okay.
All our penalties will be here, marked down for your team, and the opposing team will be on the other side page. So when you score, you'll have it open like this. Typically, we only keep track statistics for our own home teams. The only thing we'll keep for the away team is the penalties and fouls. I'll go over that one right now. Two kinds of penalty or fouls. There's a personal foul and a technical foul. Personal fouls will include slashing, cross-checking, and any illegal body checks. Technical fouls will be like offsides, holding, and minor infractions such as that. Possibly going out of the box too early, and some team fouls. So the referees will tell you which one it is. You're going to put P or T for personal foul or technical foul. You're going to put what the foul was. This happens to be a trip. It was at the first quarter, and the time of it was 7:16 of the first quarter.
And how will you know what the foul is? The referee
will come and tell you. Personal foul, slashing, 1 minute. Most personal fouls are a minute. Most technical fouls are probably 30 seconds.
Do they have to serve out for it?
They have to be off the field. The team committing the penalty will be a man down for that time period. And you can go multiple men down, so there may be multiple penalties running at the same time. The other statistics you will keep track of during the game, and you're going to have a spotter, so you're going to be mostly just marking down these as the spotter's telling you. There should be ground balls. Here's the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, and the fourth quarter, and any overtime. And then we'll just run the total here at the end and add them up at the bottom at the end of the game. Shots.
What does a ground ball mean?
A ground ball is any time the ball is on the ground and a player runs to it and scoops it up. That will be a ground ball for his team, and you'll check it right here, and then you'll run down to his number, and you'll give him a check in his ground ball column.
He picks a ground up.
Yes. If he happens to catch the ball, drop it, bends over, scoops it up, that will not be counted as a ground ball. If he gets a pass to it, bounces off him, it goes up there, and he's contested by another player for the ground ball again, that will be a ground ball. So it is somewhat subjective. It's mostly if he's contested for it after he already had possession of it. If he never had possession of it and he's going away to get it and it was on the ground, it's a ground ball. So the spotters will be trained to kind of give you that assessment. So you're just going to be marking it down as the scorekeeper. The next one will be shots. So we're doing the same thing in each quarter. We're counting how many shots we get. And then also when they say shot number 19, so I'll go here, I'll put a shot down here, I'll look down 19, I'll give him a shot right here in the shot column on his personal statistics. Next one down will be clears. That's a little more difficult to explain. If your team is playing defense and then we get possession of the ball as a defensive team, now it's our job to clear it past the midfield line. So if they do get it past the midfield line, that will be a cleared ball. Right here, cleared. If we got possession of it and we failed to get it up there to the midfield line and get it on our offensive side, that will be a failed clear. And we're keeping track of that for each quarter once again.
Are those per person as well, or just for?
No, that's a team statistic.
Okay. All right.
You won't have to. The only personal ones will be shots, goals, assists, and ground balls. Extra man. This is when there's a team out on a penalty. Okay, that means that your team has an extra man. So So that's the one we keep track of mostly just on our statistics. So the other team has committed a penalty, and so we're either going to score or we're not going to score. It's pretty simple. First quarter, here we got one, we did score. So we were 1 out of 1. So we failed 0. And this game we ended up being 1 for 2. And there are 3 penalties over here on their team. That's correct. Face-offs, another pretty self-explanatory one. But before every quarter and after every goal, there'll be a face-off at the midfield line. If your team gets the ball, that will be a won face-off. If your team does not get the ball, that will be a lost face-off. If there's an infraction where the referee blows the whistle to start and someone goes early or does some kind of illegal move during the face-off, the ball will be awarded to the other team. That will be either a won or lost for your team, whether it was in your favor or against you. Timeouts. Each team will get 2 timeouts during the half. So right here, you're going to mark the time of the timeout and the quarter. I'm going to put this down for a quick sec so we can kind of get. This is a big blown up version of this thing across the top. This is how we keep track of the score. Each box is one for the away team and one for the home team. It'll be split down. There's 4 quadrants in each box for each goal. Right here. This top one is the time of the goal and the quarter. So in this case, it was 7:17 of the second quarter, the first time that the away team scored. In our team, we had 3:58 of the first quarter we had scored. So they'll either be sometimes goals are unassisted and sometimes they're assisted. So I've scored this one. We're going to say it was at 3:15 of the first quarter for the away team. And it was scored by number 20 and assisted by number 3. So the ref's going to come over and tell you, I'm going to put 20 in here, and I'll put number 3 in there.
And the ref will always give you that information?
He will tell you the information, or your spotter will. Mostly the ref will come over and give that. The timer, you will get the time and the quarter from the timer. Okay? So it's now 1-0 the away team. So now the home team comes and they score a goal at 5:10 of the first quarter, and it was scored by number 3, and he dodged and there was no assist. So you're going to have number 3, and I'm just going to put a slash line like this in the assist box. So it's 3 unassisted. It was 5:10 of the first quarter. So now it's 1-1. So every time they score a goal, you're going to keep running the goals down consecutively. We'll know what quarter they're put in by looking at this quarter box. So even if this team, say they scored 10:10 of the first and 11:30 of the first by number 1 and number 19 and number 10. Okay. So now we can look by looking quickly at the scoring at the end of the first quarter. It's 3-1. This was number 1 unassisted, number 19 from number 10. Okay. And we see it's 3-1 at the end of the first quarter. Now, some people draw a line down here. It's not the correct way to do it, and start scoring the second quarter here. So now the home team, they get a goal at 1:15 of the second quarter by number 7, and it was unassisted. So now we put it in the number 2. So now it's 2-3. So we don't run past that. One might have a big long line, and one may have none.
So it's just continuous.
It's just continuous, and we can tell exactly how many home team has 2 goals because that's where they stopped, and away team has 3 goals because that's where they stopped. So we don't need to skip any spaces. Every goal is counted along the line. The same with the home team. And at the end of the thing, we look right here. They scored 3 goals. They scored 2 goals. So it's fairly simple. All this information on the score sheet will be filled out by the coaches, so it should come to you already pre-filled out with everyone's number. All your substitutes will be down below. One thing I didn't talk about yet is saves. You're going to have your goalies. Most teams only have 1, so we have 1 here. And we just let our spotter tell us save by the goalie, and we mark a save for him here, and another save, and another save, another save, and then at the end of the quarter we just total it up and give it a circle there, so then we can count up things. At the end of the game, he had 6 saves, which means our defense did a good job, didn't get many shots get put on it.
So for a shot to be considered a shot, does it have to be on net, or can it just be somewhere? I mean, is that sort of subjective too?
In order for it to be a save, it does have to be on net, or it has to go into the goalie's stick, or he has to block it. In order for it to be a shot, it does not have to
Just
be on
intended.
pitch. It has to be intended for the goal.
Okay.
It can be wide, and as you see, there's a lot more shots, I'm sure, than there was saves. Excuse me. Here we go. We had 30 shots in this game. 8 in the first quarter, 2 in the second quarter, 7 in the third quarter, and 13 in the fourth quarter. It's important for the coaches to see this, to know, boy, we really kind of slacked up in the second quarter here sometime. We only had 2 shots on goal. And they may come check this scorebook during the game if they want to know, we really need to start shooting the ball. We had 10 shots in the first half. We put 20 shots in the second half. Because obviously the coach went over there and told them, hey, we're not shooting enough. And we really turned it up in the second half. So, let's say ground balls, that's an important statistic for the coaches. We ended up with 30 ground balls here. It seems like there was more in the beginning than there was in the end, but we only took 3 penalties. That's a good stat for the coach to know, because the more you're in the box, the less chance you have to win. So, I think that's about all the ones we did. This individual scoring will total up at the end of the game. So you go down here and you'll look and see who had a goal or who had an assist. And it looks pretty much like we had some unassisted goals here going on. We had 0 assists for this game. But like I said, this is for an after the game total. Don't worry about that during the game.
Did you say the referee will call who got the goal and the assist?
Yes, they will usually come over and say, that is goal number 20 from number 10.
Because I just wonder how far back does an assist have to be passed to be counted as an assist?
If you're a spotter and you're looking, here's the rule of thumb. If you pass to the guy and he just grabs it and then shoots the ball and he doesn't make a dodge, then that's an assisted goal. If you throw it to him, he dodges a man, and then he shoots and scores, that'll be an unassisted goal. They will not count that pass. The maximum assists in lacrosse is 1. Not like hockey where you can get multiple assists. Yes.
Okay. All right.
So I hope that explains everything, and any questions, come by the table, and a scorer or timer will be glad to help you.
Are you scoring and spotting down there tonight for the game? Is there
No, I will not be. I don't think there is. I do not believe there is anyone doing it.
Can we practice during a scrimmage?
Sure, you can practice right here.
In fact, I was just thinking that we should go see if
I'm going to be up here announcing some special